Nobody's had enough of me, and I'm laying flat out on the floor. When you think I've loved you all I can, I'm gonna love you.
Always and forever, each moment, it's just like a dream to me, that somehow came true. And I know tomorrow,
Please be seated.
will be the same. The sweet silent nights over that moment.
Oh, wait, this is more anyway.
Ladies and gentlemen, Danny and Kim have asked you all here today to help celebrate their 30 years of marriage and to witness them renewing the vows that they made to each other on the 15th of July 1995 at the Ascension Church in Plumstead Common, and then to witness their continual commitment to each other in words. It means a lot to them both that you're all here, and just the few that they have chosen. And they hope that you'll enjoy this part of the day and the evening as much as they know they are going to. So let's have a look at how this beautiful union first took place. An adventure and a snapshot. So Danny met Kim at the Star Pub in Plumstead Common on Friday the 17th of November 1989. It was Children in Needs night. Danny was 18 and Kim was just 16. It did not take them long before they knew that they had fallen in love. And this led them to being inseparable, spending every evening and weekends together. They'd often stay awake most of the night, Danny refusing to go home, and both of them listening to the Carpenters, laughing or just talking together. At 6 a.m. each morning, Danny would get a cab home. The same cab driver each morning, who always said to them that one day they would get married, and how right he was. Kim was still in her final year of school. Danny was working in a builder's merchant. Danny and Kim were gifted with the most wonderful grandparents. Marjorie and Alf Beadle on Dan's side, and Nanny Dot and Grandad Mark on Kim's side. Sometime after Danny and Kim met, Kim was introduced to Nanny Beadle, who lived in Abbey Wood, also where Kim's grandparents lived. Marjorie mentioned that they knew a couple along the road in Abbey Grove, who they met on holiday a few years ago in Rhodes. Mark and Dorothy, who turned out to be Kim's Nanny Dot and Grandad Mark. From that moment onwards, Kim always believed that they were meant to be and destined to be together. Kim and Danny had their first holiday abroad in Corfu in 1992. They decided to plan a family whilst young. After they waited a while, first came Nicole, their firstborn on the 19th of July 1993, known as Nick Nicks, or Neckleberry Pie Crust. Kim went back to work in 1994, starting a 20-plus year career with Greenwich Council. Kim always wanted to be married and insisted Nicole would have the same surname as her if Danny were not to ask her to marry. Danny agreed that he would one day get married, and he had 5 years in order to ask her. However, he never did. Well, not until years later, which is what's brought us all here today. Nevertheless, in July 1994, they got engaged and married on that year, as we said, the 15th of July 1995 at Ascension Church. They had a honeymoon on the Isle of Wight, which turned into their very first family holiday. Shortly after they married, Danny had a career change, joining security corps as a jailer. The following year, baby number 2 was born on the 7th of July 1996, Kelly, known as their little Rosie Rosebud. They bought their first home in 1998 in Plumstead Common. To complete their family, Kim wanted a millennium baby, and Nicole wanted a baby brother, and Kelly wasn't bothered at all. Eventually, along came baby number 3 to complete their family, Danny, known as Sonny, Vernon, Boise, or Bud. Danny then decided to move to a more secure career, becoming a police officer in 2001. This meant an 18-week residential intensive training course away from Kim and the 3 young children. Whilst difficult being away from each other, Danny loved every bit of it, and Kim always knew his job, along with Danny's dedication and commitment, would change their lives, and it did. Their first full family holiday was abroad, and it followed in 2002 to Spain, Costa Ela Maria. Kim and Danny loved the special dedicated family time together and enjoyed the happiness and the sunshine that holiday brought. This was followed by many more amazing holidays abroad. During the following years, to many places including the Dominican Republic, Mexico, Cuba, Mallorca, and the Gran Canaria Islands, where they found a particular favourite in the Gran Canaries, which they love visiting every year. But more recently, they've discovered cruise ship holidays. And quickly, that has become a favourite thing to share between them. Kim and Danny are very social people, and they love their time together, whether it's just in a pub or on a sneaky weekend away, any time for quality time. In the early years, one of their absolute favourite things to do was to go to the Monday Club, to listen to old-fashioned people singing old-fashioned songs with the piano man, which is where Danny discovered his musical talents as a 6-song man. Many happy Mondays, particularly bank holidays, were spent socialising, singing, and often with the children. And even the odd occasions, Danny dancing on the tables. Happy times indeed. Kim and Danny both share a special and fantastic love for music, enjoying concerts, live music. Artists like Rod Stewart, George Michael, the 60s, 70s and 80s are also particular favourites for them. And in more recent times, they love nothing more than a cosy night in or a late afternoon visiting their locals to relax together, and when or if they're not planning their next holiday. They moved to a house in 2003 in Wickham Street in Welling, where they spent most of their family years together, bringing up the children and many family parties. In 2010, Danny and Kim experienced their first holiday alone after many years in the Maldives, which was a wonderful memory in paradise and with their dear family friends. Kim and Danny were blessed with becoming grandparents themselves, with Holly arriving in 2016, followed by her brother Thomas in 2018. Lily also joined the world in 2018, with her brother Harry arriving in 2021. And the new and the latest additional, baby Arthur, who arrived earlier this month. These 5 blessings bring Kim and Danny the greatest joy, spoiling them with love and fun, and for years to come. They're thrilled to also officially welcome Will, Kelly's husband, into their family since April 2023, and then Tommy, Nicole's husband, in April this year. Kim and Danny moved a few times over the following years. First to Bexley Heath in 2014 to Little Heath Road. Then 2020, Kim's family passed away some years earlier, and they completed their ambition to renovate Kim's grandparents' house in Abbey Wood and they moved in. This was somewhat short-lived, as Kim could not settle there. So, once again, they moved, finding their forever home in Lenham Road, back in Bexley Heath in 2021. They are now 35 years on, and 30 years of marriage later. Still happy, still laughing together, usually at Danny's silly voices and the faces he pulls each day. It always brings a smile, and still very much inseparable. Working solidly side by side with each other. Loving, caring, and sharing each other's. And long may that continue. Kim and Danny, would you please come and stand before me? Kim and Danny, the purpose of marriage is that you will always love and care and support each other through both the joys and the sorrows of life. Your original marriage vows are still legally binding you together. Today, you will exchange your original spoken vows from the church service 30 years ago. And as a moral sign, your agreement to them, you will still share the words, and then followed by your words of commitment to each other. Now, I'll read aloud the words spoken by the priest at their wedding service. And there is a part where I'll be asking all of you to join in as their witnesses today. And respectfully, all you have to do is say, "We will."
We will.
Should we try that again? We will.
We will.
Great. We can let them know next door. The minister first addressed the bridegroom. Danny, will you take Kim to be your wife? Will you love her, comfort her, honour and protect her, and, forsaking all others, be faithful to her as long as you both shall live?
I will.
The minister then addressed the bride. Kim, will you take Danny to be your husband? Will you love him, comfort him, honour him, and protect him, and then, forsaking all others, be faithful for him as long as you both shall live?
I will.
The minister then addressed the congregation. Will you, the family and friends of Danny and Kim, support and uphold them in their marriage, now and in the years to come?
We will.
Danny and Kim, I now invite you, in the presence of God and his people, to take your vows. Would you please face each other? Danny, please take Kim's right hand in yours and repeat these words after me.
That one? That one?
Okay. I, Danny, take you, Kim, to be my wife.
I, Danny, take you, Kim, to be my wife.
To have and to hold from this day forward.
To have and to hold this day forward.
For better, for worse, for richer, for poorer.
For better, for worse, for richer, for poorer.
In sickness and in health.
In sickness and in health.
To love and to cherish.
To love and to cherish.
Till death us do part.
Till death us do part.
According to God's holy law.
According to God's holy law.
In the presence of God, I make this vow.
In the presence of God, I make this vow.
Thank you. You can loosen your hands. Kim, will you take Danny's right hand in yours and then repeat
Right, is it
after
the same
me?
one?
There it is, yep. And then repeat after me these words. I, Kim, take you, Danny, to be my husband.
I, Kim, take you, Danny, to be my husband.
To have and to hold from this day forward.
To have and to hold from this day forward.
For better, for worse, for richer, for poorer.
For better, for worse, richer, for poorer.
In sickness and in health.
In sickness and in health.
To love and to cherish.
To love and to cherish.
Till death us do part.
Till death us do part.
According to God's holy law.
According to God's holy law.
And in the presence of God, I make this vow.
And in the presence of God, I make this holy vow.
Okay, you can loosen your hands. Okay. Still standing facing each other, please. Danny, can you take the ring on the forefinger of Kim's hand and hold it at the joint? And then repeat after me. Kim, I give you this ring as a sign of our marriage.
Kim, I give you this ring as a sign of our marriage.
With my body, I honour you.
With my body, I honour you.
All that I am, I give to you.
All that I am, I give to you.
And all that I have, I share with you.
And all that I have, I share with you.
Within the love of God,
Within the love of God,
Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
Place it on with you. Kim, would you take Danny's ring and place it on the joint of his left hand? Holding it there.
Sweat.
It is hot. Holding it there, would you please repeat after me? Danny, I give you this ring as a sign of our marriage.
Danny, I give you this ring as a sign of our marriage.
With my body, I honour you.
With my body, I honour you.
All that I am, I give to you.
All that I am, I give to you.
And all that I have, I share with you.
And all that I have, I share with you.
Within the love of God,
Within the love of God,
Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
The minister then proclaimed aloud, in the presence of God and before this congregation, Danny and Kim have given their consent and have made their marriage vows to each other. They have declared their marriage by the joining of hands and the giving and sharing of rings. Therefore, he proclaimed that they were now husband and wife and gave permission to kiss the bride. And now, ladies and gentlemen, in their 30 years of marriage, repeating their original vows from church, before you all, their family, they want you to witness their words of commitment to each other. In a moment, I will place a band of silk around your hands, symbolising the joining of two people's unconditional love and commitment to each other. The doves on the silk represent the romance from the Greek mythological goddess of love. Kim, I will then ask you to share your words with Danny, and then Danny, I will ask you to share your words with Kim. If you join your right hands together, bring hands here.
Ring.
Yeah. Danny, first of all, Kim will say her words to you, and I'll ask you to repeat them. Do you want to put those on there?
Danny, I promise to stand with you through every wave of my life. With sandy toes and a full heart, I renew my commitment to you and our beautiful journey. In your arms I find peace, in your voice I find calm, in your smile I find happiness. You're the centre of our family and the best part of my life. You make me laugh and smile every single day and cry. And you remind me of the timeless nature of our true love. I promise to continue loving you with the same passion and devotion as the day we first met. You are my choice, my favourite, my best friend, my true soulmate, my rock of support, and I love you, my always and forever.
Kim, sharing my life with you for the past 35 years and being married to you for 30 of those fantastic, wonderful years, you are my best friend, the love of my life, and my rock of support. My love for you has grown with each passing day and year. I promise to continue to be your husband, to cherish you, and to love you more deeply each and every day. With this vow, I reaffirm my eternal love and devotion for you, for always and forever.
Well done. Neither of them knew the words that they were sharing here today. Well done for getting through them. That is very good. So now, ladies and gentlemen, they're going to seal with wax and their fingerprints the words that they've given to each other. You're welcome to walk around, come across. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Welcome. Come on back. Hopefully, second time it didn't hurt that much. Danny and Kim, as you both well know, marriage will stretch you as individuals, deepen your love with each other and bring out the very best of each other. So enjoy your marriage, and may every morning see you both falling in love with each other deeper and deeper, stronger and stronger. Love isn't always perfect, and again, you both know love isn't a fairy tale or a storybook, and it doesn't always come easy. Love is overcoming the obstacles, facing the challenges together, fighting together, and fighting to be together, holding on and never letting go of what you've come here today to celebrate. It's a short word, easy to spell, difficult to divine, and impossible to live without. Love. And love is work, but most of all, love is really realising that every day, every hour, every minute, every second is worth it. Because, Danny and Kim, you're in it together. Mr. and Mrs. Davis, congratulations on 30 years of togetherness. Your love story is an inspiration for us all to watch and behold. I wish you a continued lifetime of love and happiness. Danny and Kim, it's with pleasure that now I conclude the ceremony of the renewal of marriage vows and your commitment to each other. Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding and with as loud and cheer as possible for the Mr. and Mrs. Davis.
All I can, I'm gonna love you a little bit more. Come on over here and lay by my side. I've got to be touching you. Let me rub your tired shoulders the way I used to do. Look into my eyes and give me that smile, the one that always turns me on.
Okay, you good? Okay. Right, it's a bit more blurry and I've had a few drinks, so I'll try and see it. Thank you very much for coming, and first things first, a huge round of applause for Mum and Dad. And a big round of applause for Mum, who's done the impossible and part with Dad for the last 30 years. When Mum asked me to say a few words, I thought I would try and do something a bit different. So there are many times throughout this that I'll ask you to raise a glass and celebrate Mum and Dad. not for their work or for being employees, but for the wonderful parents that they are. And there's other times I'll ask you to raise a glass and drink, not for mum and dad, but because there's a minimum spend behind the bar and he's getting pissed. Right, I've lost where I'm at. So, the older I get, the more I start to really appreciate everything mum and dad have done to shape our lives. When I was just a baby, Kelly about 4 and Nicole about 7, Dad made a decision to join the police. And being a young couple, not earning a lot of money, Mum talks about just how much that decision was life-changing for him. And Dad had to leave his family to go to Hendon for 18 weeks. And knowing how much I love Holly, Lily, Thomas, Arthur and Harry,
We're still blue, Tom, we're still blue.
I can only imagine how painful that must have been for him. And the older I get, the more I really realise just how massive that sacrifice was and how much stability it added to our family life. That wouldn't have been possible without Dad making that first initial sacrifice to join the police. And whilst that feels like it happened so long ago now, it shouldn't be forgotten about how tough that time has been away from this young family those years ago. So, can we all firstly raise a drink to Dad, who made that huge sacrifice for our family and all he's done to provide for us? And a second glass to Mum, who's probably had the hardest job of them all, or did have the hardest job of them all while Dad was away, staying at home with her unhygienic, difficult and annoying daughters, and her lovely son. It turns out that Hendon was only the start for Dad, so he balanced 3 kids with working nights, standing in the boiling heat every year at Nottingham Carnival, working through the riots and even spending New Year's away from home every year to man the crowds in London. And he's never talked about it, but I know that he's seen some things over the years that would break most of us. And this alongside a young family, it continues to amaze me how we kept going just to make sure that there's food on the table. And as I get older and holding up, and soon enough, hope to be a dad, I can't explain how much he's inspired me and how appreciative I am of the hard work he's put into raising us. So, can our third drink be dedicated again to Dad? All his strength, resilience, but most importantly, being a fantastic father. Arguably, a more difficult job than a dad going to work, is a mum. And Mum made that tough choice when we was about 3 years old to go back to work full time. And she worked incredibly hard, worked her way up to senior positions in British Council, and now even within a government department. And that's all because of that choice she made all those years ago to earn some extra money for her family. But any working mum knows that going or employment is only half the job. Mum balanced running a household, making sure us kids were quiet, whilst Dad was working nights, and arguably the most difficult job altogether, raising 2 teenage girls. I'm sure most of us in this room who know Mum well can think of a time that we really struggled, been in a really bad place, and she's really been there to support us. She's worn many hats, but the most important one of them all is being my caring loving mother. So can we raise our next glass to Mum? All you've done is truly be a superwoman. Now a slight change, so parents here will be aware of the tough choices you make when raising your kids, and Mum and Dad have definitely made a few questionable ones. Most other kids have bought PlayStations, they bought the grandkids a trampoline, and what did we get? A washing basket for our 16th birthdays. Oh my God. We've had some calling out there over the years about paying rent. I won't say any names, Nicole especially. Very well living at home is a controversial subject at the best of times, and I never quite understood why she made us pay it. But that was until a few weeks ago when I said to Mum that T and I were quite serious about wanting to move out and buy a house. And that's when she said to me that every pound of rent we've paid since the age of 16 has actually gone into a separate savings pot for when we do eventually buy a house. And it made me quite emotional to find that out, because after all the arguments, all the fights, I don't know why she didn't just cave in, and I certainly wouldn't. But all in all, it was to teach us a life lesson, whether that be doing our own washing at the age of 16 or teaching us from a young age to pay for where we live. That lesson of independence is probably the most important one Mum could have given to us on our 16th birthdays. So can we raise another glass to tough love? And from Mum and Dad's perspective, it probably wasn't the nicest present to give. It's probably the most important kind of love a parent can provide.
Have you got any interest though?
Good question. It's uncommon in this day and age for couples to stay together as long as Mum and Dad have. And I think we can all learn a few lessons from their marriage for our own relationships. And the first is keeping the spark alive. We all know Mum and Dad love their holidays and their weekends away, but it's important for us to learn from this about making memories, sharing experiences, and enjoy living in the moment. And the second is being faithful to each other. And there's probably some of you that think, well, how do you know that they've been faithful? It's easy for you to say. My evidence is this: take a long, hard look at Dad, and you'll see why I'm confident no one else has been near him.
Cheers, man.
Just making each other smile. And this is nice about you, actually. They've been honest that marriage is a lot of work and it takes a lot of compromise. But what I will say is that whenever Mum's in a bad mood or just having a moment, Dad never fails to crack a joke, and that's something that I'll absolutely try and carry over into my relationship, just to make each other half happy. And the final lesson is probably the most important. And the deeper I look into my relationship, the deeper I look into Nicole's and Kelly's marriages, the more that I realise the fundamental lesson of staying together. So can we all please raise a glass to the most important lesson of them all? The woman is always right. I ask you to keep your glasses raised in the air for this last part. I've lost where I'm at. I found it. Keep your glasses raised. Keep your glasses raised. And hopefully this becomes a regular occurrence and continues their 40th, 50th and 60th wedding anniversaries onwards. Hopefully not too much more after that, because I do want my inheritance. But for now, I hope that everyone has a lovely night, and cheers to many more years.
Well done, Dave. Well done, Dave. Come. Still blue, isn't it? Wow.
Hi everyone, I hope you're all having a nice evening. On behalf of my mum and dad, I would like to thank you all for coming. I know it means so much to them that so many of you made the effort to be here on this very special occasion. And I'd like to give a quick shout out to the band who are doing really well this evening. I can understand why. What can I say about Kim and Dan? If I honestly knew what it was that made my mum and dad's relationship so special, I would honestly bottle it and sell it. It's rare, but there are some couples that you can tell are just meant to be, and my mum and dad are definitely one of those couples. They make you believe in marriage, They make you believe in soulmates, and they make you believe that relationships can last forever. They are as in love today as they were the day they met, which is cute until it's your parents, and it's kind of gross. Like me and my brother and sister were well into our teens before we realised it wasn't that normal for your parents to be so happy, and it wasn't a regular occurrence in other households for your parents to share a bath. But marriage today is even more special. It's not the necessity it used to be, and the attitude is that if it doesn't work out, you can always get divorced. Yet despite this, me and my brother and sister have always believed in a lifelong marriage, and the reason for that is our lovely mum and dad and the wonderful example they set for us. Me and my sister Kelly have said on many occasions that my mum and dad set the most unrealistic expectation for what a relationship should be like. But ultimately, our mum taught us that you should never compromise your standards, and every woman deserves to be loved the way my dad loves her. In the past few years, me and my sister Kelly have married our gorgeous husbands, and I think we would both agree that by the time we got to our 30th wedding anniversaries, if we are half as happy as you both are, we would count ourselves like some of the luckiest people in the world to be as happy as you both still are. I don't think either of you would say that it's always been plain sailing and that you've had your tough times. I remember one particular argument where my dad helped my mum pack her shopping and put the spring onions and bananas at the bottom of the shopping bag. That one was a real doozy. Even back in the days when they didn't have much, my mum always said that when they had nothing together. You've both worked extremely hard for everything you have, and me, Kelly and Danny are incredibly proud of what you have achieved. Even though we weren't always aware as children while it was happening in front of us, as adults we definitely realise quite how remarkable it is how you've worked yourselves up from having nothing to where you are today. And how well you've done for yourselves. It's truly a testament to where hard work and dedication can get you, and for all the sacrifices you made to give us a nice life. You truly deserve everything you've earned and the many holidays you take. You've both always supported each other, and the support for your family is endless. And I hope you both know how grateful I am for what you've done for me my whole life, and especially at my lowest points, you both brought me back to life. For me, there has been nothing more heartwarming than seeing what loving grandparents you are to your grandchildren, Holly, Thomas, Lily, Harry, and our newest addition, baby Arthur. They all truly adore you both, and they love our get-togethers at Nanny and Grandad's house, where they get to play on the trampoline in Grandad's garden. That same trampoline that me, Kelly and Danny had begged my dad for while we were growing up, but we weren't allowed because it was ruining his class. But me and Danny are bitter about it. But they all love you all the way to Nanny's sweetie John. In fact, Holly tells me when she's a teenager, she's moving out so she can look after you both. There it is, that's just a few years away. And she's going to take you both to the pub, but she knows how much you both love it there. And when she's older, she's going to drink beer with you. Yeah, I don't know where she gets that from. We're going to do it on the And Thomas loves going to the pub to watch football with his granddad. It almost reminds me of the evenings we would join you at Monday Club at the Melbourne, where my dad created a nickname for himself, Danny's Six Songs, for hogging the karaoke, singing songs like 16 Times Dizzy and Piano Man, and occasionally Kelly would join him for a rendition of the I can see now I'm older that I was only there as the babysitter, to take my brother home when that couple of drinks turned into a couple more. But Kelly was the only party animal who would want to stay out there with you both. I'm sure you can imagine having 3 children, there's been some sibling rivalry at times, and we've all accused my mum and dad of having a favourite. Me and Kelly would both agree that it's Danny, but now I think my mum and dad would say it's none of us, it's their grandchildren. I can honestly say, and I'm sure Kelly and Danny would agree, that you gave all 3 of us an incredibly happy childhood, and those memories of Monday Club, and the many times that you embarrassed us by singing Love Shack, and the holiday that you would save for all year to take us on. And yes, there was a time that my mum and dad would only go on holiday once a year, will be forever treasured. As we're all here to celebrate your 30th wedding anniversary, I thought it would be really fitting for us to watch some of the footage from their original wedding video, which my lovely husband, who's not paying attention to me, we had one job, has put together for us.
L is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one.
It's on this got no text that
Is the way one that you adore and love is all that I give to you. Love is more than just a game. To love and me. My heart, please don't break it. Love was made for me and you.
for it, all did our proud that day, and you've all done our proud again today by making the effort to be here this evening. And I definitely wanted to recreate some of those pictures. You're all over there. Come here! Of course, as lovely as it is to watch those moments from the day itself, it's hard to ignore that there were people there on that lovely day that are no longer here with us. My mum's dear Uncle Paul, who we didn't actually see on camera because he was the one who shot all of that original footage. There was my mum's best friend, my Auntie Tina, who I called my Nana, who helped my mum organise the wedding and who my mum says no matter what was always on my dad's side. And their grandparents, our Nanny and Grandad Beadle and Nanny Dot and Grandad Mark. Though it's been many years now since they all passed, my mum and dad still talk about the special relationship they had with their grandparents and how much they did for them. So if we could all please raise a glass to those who were there who are no longer with us. And one thing I can't not mention about both my mum and dad's grandparents is that they had actually met each other and were friends years before my mum and dad had even met. So my mum likes to say it was written in the stars that her and my dad would be together. And it's hard to believe that they truly weren't meant to be. I couldn't tell you what it is that makes Kim and Dan the perfect couple, other than they just make each other happy and are exactly what each other needs. After all these years, I can say my dad never can fail to make my mum laugh, whether that's by pulling funny faces while she's in important work meetings over Skype, or running into the front room in her bra and skirt singing I'm Every Woman, or with his interesting nicknames for her. A couple I've heard over the years are Ruffers and Mrs. Dudley, and I choose not to ask why. So if we could all raise our glasses one last time to Kim and Dan, the couple everyone wants to be on their 30th wedding anniversary.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. Really do appreciate that you really appreciate what you do. And I'm glad to see that Kim has had elocution lessons since her wedding. And just in relation to the bathing situation, that's environmentally... that's for the environment, put it that way. And I really do thank you all for coming and celebrating this with us. I can't say anything else as what's already been said, but thank you all so very, very much for coming. Thank you.
This week with my lovely colleagues Jill and Samad. If that was recorded, I'm really hoping that my voice sounded a lot better than it did back in the day. But the reason that I stood up 30 years ago on our wedding day was because my blooming dad and really poor but lovely brother-in-law, Warren, didn't do a bloody speech. And I couldn't get over it. Like, I can't believe after all this time, you've got nothing nice to say about me, your dad. Not really? Anyway, I really hope the proof is in the pudding, and I can't top what my lovely daughter and my son said about us today, because obviously like they've been our world, and our lovely 5 grandchildren are also our world, by evidence of the trampoline in our garden. But truly, from the bottom of our hearts, like Dan said, it meant the world for us, for you all to come today, to celebrate today. It was meant to be 5 years ago, but COVID had different plans. So the fact that we're here 30 years later, 35 years together, and that you've all been able to come and share that with us, it just means everything. So I hope that you've all brought your dancing shoes with our lovely band juice, and I hope that you carry on drinking for the rest of the night.
and enjoy the rest of the day. And we're really grateful you came, so thank you very much.
Let me take your hair down, 'cause we're staying up to greet the sun. And when your body's had enough of me and I'm laying flat out on the floor, when you think I've loved you all I can, I'm gonna love you a little bit more. Got to say a few things that have been on my mind, and you know where my mind has been. I guess I learned my lessons, and now's the time to begin. So if you're feeling alright and you're ready for me, I know that I'm ready for you. We better get it on now.